What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great day. It has been quite a long day for me, and the Eagles just wanted to make everything 10 times more complicated. And obviously, I have seen a lot of you throughout the day. We have talked about a lot of these things, but there was one thing I actually made a video on, recorded it, never posted it. So I was like, all right, dude. So let's just recap all this. We'll talk about that video I didn't get to post, although we did talk about Jared Johnson yesterday. That is the video I am talking about. So we're just going to talk about him again here tonight. And we're going to talk about everything that happened here today in case you missed it or in case you were a part of it and you just want to talk about it again. I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time, whether you're live watching this later. Love to hear your thoughts. But a lot of things going on. And the Eagles, I mean, we talk about sicko season. I mean, bro, it's always nuts. And we're starting off with a bang here. So let's go. My man Ewing back in the building. Appreciate you tuning in, my man. Appreciate each and every one of you. Anything on your mind, feel free to let it out. But we're going to talk about Nick and Howie. They had their end of year press conference. We had Vic Fangio news. We had Jared Johnson, obviously, want to talk about, and Covey going off. So we had some things that you can go check out some of those other videos, but I want to recap it here with you, talk to you tonight. So let's jump right into it. Appreciate you all hitting the like button, subscribing, all the things you're doing to support the channel, but let's talk about it. Now, with the Howie and Nick presser, we talked a little bit about it earlier, but EJ Smith, one of the reporters I actually enjoy following, he had some notes from here, so I wanted to go over it. Nothing fancy here, but just wanted to show you some of the things that were said. And, you know, obviously, we all saw what this offense looked like. And, talking about fresh ideas, Brian Johnson, obviously, we talk about it, just an unfortunate part of this business. And, we need something new here. We need somebody that's going to step in and not be new to this and know what they're doing. We talked about some candidates last night. And I think, somebody needs to step in and take over this offense, allow him to be more of that head coach. So, and yeah, exactly as he says at the bottom here, a CEO type head coach rather than mind behind the offense. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for some changes here to the offense. And I know a lot of people, including myself, talking about Sirianni taking the training wheels off for Brian Johnson, allowing him to maybe implement some things, because it looked like we were just trying to do the same exact stuff over and over again. And you got to be able to adjust and adapt to the game. And didn't see much of that. So end of season failure. This season, we're looking for change. So unfortunately, new coordinators. So those other guys, they got to move on. And, obviously a lot of you, it's not unfortunate, but, they're human beings. So it is an unfortunate part of the game. And best of luck to Brian Johnson, Sean Desai, Matt Patricia. Take care now. But we need some change here. And I'm very intrigued to see what offensive minds they talk to here. And I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of change they have. So I was glad to see that they addressed that in the press conference today. Then they talked, Howie had some things to say, his confidence in Nick Sirianni staying the head coach, winning games, putting us in a position when we're competing for a world championship, putting us in a position where every year we're in the playoff race and giving us an opportunity with the team to do that. Those things are hard to find. Had a tough stretch. And I mean, he goes on here and, obviously he brought up the fact that, he knows the end of season was tough. Nobody wants to go out like that, but we're not looking at a 6-game sample size. It's the thing as a whole. And Nick Sirianni is still a very young coach, so we're hopeful that he can learn, and these new coaches that are brought in, new coordinators, can help him along the way. So, hey, let's go. But Howie going off here, and didn't sound like Howie Roseman is going to change his team building philosophy on defense. On the jack of investment at the linebacker position, I think maybe there are some preconceived notions at linebacker position. What do we talk about? I love the fact that they brought this up, and they don't care who we play at linebacker. I think if anything, it's my belief in the players that we have, the young players that we have. I have a lot of belief, and I know Coach does as well, in Nakobe Dean. So, of course, the media is going to try to spin that as, we're only going to rock with Nakobe Dean and Ben Van Sumeren, the only active roster guys. No, we're actually going to sign people. We're going to draft people. And that's just a part of the game, man. And that is a need for the Eagles. A lot of free agents there. So, yep, it's going to happen. I promise you. And I'm hopeful in this draft. I would love to get Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I'd love to get Patrick Queen in free agency, but we'll see how they go about it. And I'll be breaking all of that stuff down for you, but nice to see them talking about that here. And then you had Sirianni referred to his year-end meeting with Jeffrey Lurie, business as usual. But did I have to sell my vision? No, because it was business as usual. But you better believe that I'm thinking after that 1-6 finish, after starting the way we started and doing the things that we've done in the past, that I'm thinking I'm going to prove them right again. We're going to prove them right. We've got to reprove ourselves. So, look, we just got to get back to winning football, and everybody will remember, oh, hey, this guy had us in a Super Bowl in his second year. Like, that's good. So we talked about Steichen. We talked about Gannon. Everybody wanted to fire them. And, obviously they were good. They got head coaching jobs. That was always hilarious. Now, all of a sudden, we're playing this revisionist history where, oh, they were great. We should have never let them go. It's like, well, then why did everybody want to let them go? It's wild. But Nick Sirianni obviously getting the blunt of it now because everyone else is fired. So he's the only one left. And nobody wants to end like that, but this team knows what they have to do. They have to get back to winning. And that's by recreating yourself, man, opening up to, hearing things, how to change with the game. And I'm sure we're going to bring in some good coaches here to help do that. And then the last little piece of information from the presser today, didn't rule out more staff changes. I hate this for them. There are guys that are up in the air. We talked about this last night, and their families are up in the air. In the sense of, I've got to get a coordinator in before we make a decision on maybe some of the quality controls or some of the position coaches. So we talked about, the disgruntled, staff they're talking about. It's like, yeah, I'm sure people are disgruntled when the coordinators are fired because that means your ass could be next. So yeah, but the mean he's always trying to spin wild stuff there. My man EJ, though, he's a good one. He's definitely a good reporter where you can rely on him. So go check him out. But appreciate those notes from the presser today. But one of the things that happened directly after is what I would like to talk about next. And I know a lot of you had a lot of questions earlier, but I'm back again. So let's go. Happy reiterated that Sirianni is a winning coach. Exactly. And he kept bringing it up, but he kept saying, because he knew the media would try to take that. No, they're only, he's like, I know it's a bad way to end. And like just at one point in the presser, let me just say, our media is terrible, dude. One point they asked him, like, oh, if the offensive coordinator takes care of the offense and the defensive coordinator take care of the defense, well, then what's your job? And I literally was sitting with Chelsea watching it, and I said, head coach? And literally we said it at the same time. And it's just like, is this a joke? Are we serious? What do you mean? He's a head. I don't. And they're like, oh, he's just a cheerleader and roster management and like all the things a coach. Like, no, dude, he just kind of is a head coach. And we want him to be more of a head coach and less of trying to be the offensive coordinator. So it's a good thing, right? So I'm with you on that. What is up? RMP in the building. Appreciate you tuning in, dude. Hope you're having a good one. When will we find out what free agents are bringing back? Oh, well, when they sign them, when free agency starts around March there. So the beginning of March will be that, but I already told you once February begins, I'll be breaking down all of the free agents for you. And you have a 3-day period where, like, you can have this talk of signing and all this stuff, but we'll get into who the Eagles re-sign because you can re-sign your players before free agency begins. So don't worry, I'll get into all that stuff for you. But I had those dates for that one show for you guys, if you want to go check that out. But off the top of my head, I can't think of them. But going to be a wild offseason, do not fear. Sirianni's competitive and hardworking. So, oh, yeah, definitely. Yo, appreciate you tuning in, and I hope so too, man. And they sure are. Well, I don't know, man. They always people have to whine about something. So I don't know. Not happy with Fangio. Versus the Eagles fans of Howie and Nick and Tony. No, I like being good. I'm going to have to disagree with you there. I know a lot of teams, a lot of fans want this team to lose a lot, but that's not me, man. I like winning. So let's talk about that. And let's talk about getting back to winning. So Vic Fangio. Now, you guys know, if you watched the show, you learned a lot about this Fangio system in the last 3 years. We've talked about it with Gannon. We talked about it with Desai. And I know a lot of people hated that the Eagles made the Super Bowl, had the #1 defense against the pass, broke records with sacks, but they're going to have to toughen up here because I enjoy being good, and I like getting turnovers. I like getting sacks. I want to get back to that. And we talked about Desai before this season began, was hopeful. We talk about these disciples of the Fangio tree, right? And, obviously they have other influences. They're going to bring their own style and system. All these people we talk about, all that stuff. But what if you just go get the Godfather himself, Vic Fangio, baby? And I'm all about it because, a lot of people don't understand the bend, don't break philosophy. And we talk about it, just trying to get pressure, trying to, playing with the space you have and limiting the space of these teams within like 30 yards. And rather than letting, teams be going deep on you, doing stuff. And I think that this team obviously had its issues with injuries and people not being on the same page, not allowing Desai to really get what he was trying to do down before we moved to Patricia. And then you're adding new terminology. I really just didn't like any of that. So you've got all of the skills, all of these players, the versatility that fits the mold of this versatile scheme defense that you should be able to each week match up in different ways, whether you're odd, even fronts, doing all different stuff. It shouldn't be you're running just a base package and, well, it's going to work out. Let's go. Yep. No, you need to be able to each week be able, and within the game too, be able to adjust. And, I think that this is what we talked about getting a DC. We talk about someone that has head coaching experience. Excuse me. And then you talk about, somebody that can take over as the head coach of the defense, right? They've got, everybody, they're the one controlling the defense, got everything. We want the same for the offense. Then we want at the top of the pinnacle, Nick Sirianni as the head coach, and he's just making sure everybody's doing their thing. Everybody's great. But when you have coaches that you don't have to, they're not young, you're not hopeful. And, we laughed about, some of these people out there in the media and the fans saying like, oh, you don't want good coordinators because they leave and get head coaching jobs. And it's like, what? Like, no, I mean, if they're good, they're going to get head coaching jobs. Like, that's their dream there. But I mean, you don't not hire someone because they're good. Like, what? But we talked about you could be safer by, not losing someone and really getting a chance to implement if you find a veteran that would like to, take their time here and build something. Well, what about a guy from Scranton, Pennsylvania in Vic Fangio who wants to come home, retire here, watch his Phils, coach his Eagles. And obviously we were hopeful that he would become the defensive coordinator. You guys remember I said Gannon's getting a head coaching job. No doubt about it. Hopeful that Fangio could take over. And my God, we were so effing close to that happening. I was so pumped. And then Fangio takes the job with the Dolphins. Gannon screws us. And it's like, wait. So you know how irate I was about that. But for me, getting a chance now to just, and it's so funny to see, like, I see some fans and some media, oh, I hate this. Oh, and it's like, yeah, I know. They hated going to the Super Bowl. They hated that team. They disliked being so good. And then they go back and it's always revisionist where it's like, oh, I wish we would have given Gannon. It's like, wait, what? Like, I remember how much everyone hated being number one in turnovers, number one in passing yards allowed, number one in points allowed, number one in sacks, dude. Third in NFL history, first team in NFL history with 10 plus sacks for 4 players. So, I mean, I enjoyed that. So if you can get pressure without blitzing by being smart and playing in today's NFL, changing with the game, but you have to have smart players and you have to have versatile players. And we have that. We have a lot of young ones. We're going to move on. Some of these veterans are going to be gone. So yeah, it's so funny to see people, we don't have linebackers, safeties. It's like, well, dog, that's literally what free agency and the draft are for. And you always have roster turnover every year, man. Sometimes bigger than others. Last year, we lost a lot of people. And look, we did just fine filling in those holes, but a lot of injuries, a lot of things happen where it's like, hey, you can't control that stuff. But that's why you get depth everywhere because you never know. But look, just keep building this team. We got a lot of young talent here. So I think for me, I'm all about getting Vic Fangio here. And look, we've talked about a lot of these other names. We talked about, Wink Martindale. People, enjoy. They would rather be, 32nd in pass yards allowed, last, in points allowed, but they're blitzing every play. It's like, okay. But it's crazy to see that stuff. But for me, I want to get back to being the best. And I think we can do that with this defense, with the players we have, because you've already seen it. And that's why we were drafting the players we were and filling in those players. So for me, it's a no-brainer. And that's why, whatever conversation, while that presser was happening, they were late. So they were talking to him. He was talking to the Dolphins. They mutually parted ways. It's happening, man. It is happening. I'm all about it. All about it. You, Sean Bradley. Dank's birthday is on a weekend this year. We got to go. Oh, is it a Sunday? Or are you saying they're all just on a weekend, so we got a party Sunday? I have no idea. I probably won't even remember it's my birthday. But with Anton's birthday coming up, or was it Dank? I thought it was Anton that said his birthday was April 7th as well. Maybe it was Dank. Maybe it's the Dank talking. I don't know. But yo, we're gonna celebrate regardless. But that's what's up. Hell yeah. I've tried to get Sean Bradley on the show. That would be awesome. I like Jesse Minter. Not sure where he's going to go, but he deserves an opportunity. You saw Jim Harbaugh go to the Chargers here about an hour ago, and that's awesome. Herbert gets a chance to shine there. Best of luck to them. But Minter is somebody we talked about, and I'm pissed off because, bro, I just sat here for the last few days putting together these shows about both coordinator spots, and I was really excited about the defense because I wanted to break down a lot of these other defenses and talk about what we could do. But we have the players that, you could be versatile. So I was very excited about it. And then, well, you guys know that tune in. That's what the show was for tonight. So I'm not doing that because Vic Fangio is going to be the DC. So, hey, it is what it is. Fine highlights of his defensive scheme. There should be some stuff, but if not, go back to the videos for Jonathan Gannon that I have. They should be right around the time of the offseason there, and there's multiple ones on Gannon. There's Desai, and there's a lot of principles that I talk about that, compare to what Vic Fangio does. So you can probably learn some stuff. If not, I'll try to find some. I already told you guys earlier, I'll be making a video just like all the other defenses because I want you to understand what's going on here, why I like it, and hey, we'll talk about it. 65, we're not rings. Well, here's the thing. You talk about a guy like Vic Fangio being 65 and, people crying all the time. And, whoever's telling you he's lazy should learn some football. I'll be honest with you there, dude. It sounds like you're listening to some whiny people that don't know anything about the birds. I would change that. But, we talk about Vic Fangio being that age and being someone that wants to stick around. You could have this for a few years. You don't have to worry about him leaving to get a head coaching job. So as much as, the fans want to whine about stuff, like it's so funny to see the opposite of it. Then it's like, well, I mean, you didn't want a good coordinator because they become head coaches. It's hilarious. Not happy about Fangio's, kind of looking forward to Ron Rivera, 50% looking forward, laugh loud. And look, a lot of these guys, when you can just micromanage like a defense, and it's not really just micro, but there's a lot being a coordinator in the NFL. But I like Ron Rivera. We talked about him this morning. We talked about him yesterday. I think that, he is somebody that, and he runs multiple schemes too. You could think of him as a 4-3 kind of guy, but dude, he's with the trends too. You have to change with the game. And, this defense is filled with versatile pieces that really fit what's trying to go on. And it fell apart. Look, we saw this team shut down the Vikings, Justin Jefferson. You saw them shut down the Dolphins and Tyreek Hill and Waddle. You've seen them go up against the Bills, the Chiefs. I mean, we did well and there was promise, but then I told you guys then, I thought they were using him as a scapegoat, and that really, really pissed me off because now you start adding, imagine it's a huge test and they give you a whole book and you're like, oh, hey, the game's coming up, but here's like a book of all this new terminology and all these new plays and things we're going to try to run now. So you don't even have an off season to learn this stuff. You're supposed to learn it on the fly. And each week, you're supposed to be on the same page. But I mean, think about that. That's a lot. You're already trying to remember all the stuff you've learned all year. Now, I just really thought it was the dumbest thing he could have done. And I didn't think that was the problem. And to not fire Desai, like to demote him and put him up there. He's watching from the sky. Like, I just thought, all right, dog, we're smoking too much here. Somebody's got to step in and just, hey, let's calm it down. So I don't know. But, Ron Rivera coming in here, I think would have been somebody with versatile skill set, that we have here. He could have really used a lot of this stuff. And he is a former head coach. And that's what the emphasis was on these guys. I want somebody that at least one of these coordinators to be somebody that has head coaching experience, can come in here and help out Sirianni and be the head coach of that defense or the offense. And loved hearing Sirianni say today that he's going to allow this person to come in here and run their offense. He wants to be more step back and be the head coach. That's what we need to hear. So Vic Fangio, he fits more what we have and what we're trying to do here. So that's why I like him. Ron Rivera, he did horrendous last year with the Commanders, but they traded away, a lot of their star players. They had great D tackles, but a lot of young pieces. And I thought Del Rio was running them in man way too much, but he's more of a match zone guy. So a lot of what people are asking for in Ron Rivera, you are going to see. It's a match zone defense, versatile scheming. I think a lot of people just think right off the bat, like, oh, we're 3-4, we're dropping outside linebackers, the edge rushers, the DNs into coverage, Reddick, Sweat. Look, every once in a while that'll happen. It happened with Gannon and it worked. We're breaking sack records, man. And that's what I try to tell. This is better than Gannon. This is what we talked about when we had Gannon. Why don't we just get Fangio? But that was the fear with Gannon. He's going to leave, become a head coach. And I thought Fangio would just kind of have, look, we're here a couple of years later and we have him. But look, I would have been fine with Ron Rivera. I had a whole damn list, and I had some older guys that with head coach experience, like Leslie Frazier, Lovie Smith. Then I had some like guys that have kind of been more coordinators. Then there were like coaches, and I had younger guys. I had Minter. I had Schumann from Georgia. I had Jim Leonard from Wisconsin. Al Harris from the Cowboys. So one of those like kind of just coordinator guys. So I think that you have a nice mix of people available, but I think they're trying to accomplish something, and we had it right here, man. So that's what's crazy to see from people, and they think it's going to be Matt Patricia's defense, and it's like, that is not what's happening. We're going to hopefully be Fangio. This is Gannon on crack, right? We need to see the talent we have, the young talent, really shine, using them correctly. Jordan Davis is not a pass rushing defensive tackle. He's a zero shade, one technique. That just means like a two gap, a big guy taking up two guys. That's all that means. He's a monster. That's what he should be doing. And he can take up three guys if he wants. So open up the lanes for other guys. There's so much talent, and you could use some of these versatile pieces. We talk about Nolan Smith. You saw Patrick Johnson doing it as off-ball linebackers, guys that, do have, athleticism that you don't really want to see him in coverage, but blitzing from that off-ball, that stack. But you don't want to necessarily give away what you're doing. So you got to teach these guys up. We talked about that when we drafted Nolan Smith. You guys know I wanted Brian Branch, and I was a big fan, but I like Nolan Smith too. I told you then, though, do not expect this kid to be playing. He's got Reddick. He's got he's got Josh Sweat, and Brandon Graham here. Derek Barnett was here at the time. So he was down the pecking order, and he's got a ways to go. And he's shown that he needs development. So for me, I think that you've got a lot of talent, and Fangio fits the bill of what you're trying to do. So I'm excited about it. I'm pumped up to see it. As I was just explaining there, if you ask anyone, it would be 3-4, but it's really, odd fronts, more of like 5-man fronts, not really 3-man fronts. You're just kind of have those stand-up edge rushers. But it's going to change. You'll have guys hands in the dirt. You'll have the versatility to be able. Remember how excited I was when we had Gannon, when I talked about all the things we could do, and then we saw it, baby. We saw it. We saw them break NFL records, man. They were getting after the quarterback, getting turnovers, and while everyone's whining about it, we're going to the Super Bowl, and people are finally like, oh wait, I guess I'll cheer for the Eagles, and it's like, yeah, dude, we're here. But I enjoyed that, and the real name of the game here is versatile defense. That to me is what his base package is. You can be anything on any given Sunday, and that's what I need to hear. I need to be that multi-package, like, okay, whatever you're running, whatever you like to run, your offense, maybe you're more of a 3 wide receiver set team, okay? Then obviously we're going to change our philosophy here of how we're stopping you. Obviously, who's your quarterback, your running back, all these things that let's play to not only our strengths, but let's dictate what we do here at the same time. You don't want to just, let them dictate what you're doing, but if you have the talent to crush them, if you know what works against certain things, I mean, you're looking at teams like the Niners. Okay, how do we stop that? Obviously, you can be a lot more versatile with odd fronts and do things, but if you're not tackling like we were not doing, you're going to have issues. If you're not executing what's going on here, there's going to be problems. And I think that with the talent we have, with the players we had this year, you should have been able to match up against anyone. And that's where my excitement this year came from. But it'll be the same this year, and it's going to depend on what we do in free agency and the draft. But you should be able to add a lot of talented players here and really improve this team. And again, if you had those coordinators we talked about, which looks like Fangio is the right step here for one of them, veteran guy, I think we can really get this thing on track. And Jalen Hurts, like we just get everybody, build around him. We need to get him in his prime years. Jalen Hurts is, a top 3 quarterback here in the NFL, and we need to let him shine, baby. And I'm tired of the slander. I'm just tired of it all. And Fangio is no good. Why do other teams copy? Yeah, I mean, everybody in the NFL pretty much tries to do it. So I don't know. The answer is kind of there for you. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not trying to be mean to anybody by saying that, but it's like, I'm here every year trying to explain how stuff works. And we definitely want a better season, but you're an Anton, not Dank. Look, see, don't worry. I'm a high plains drifter. I don't even know. So Sunday and Super Bowl is Saturday. Don't worry. I'll mind you. I'm going to need it, you guys. I wouldn't be able to do it without yo, my man. Yo, Anton. We were talking, and I think she said Dank's birthday was the same as mine. And I was like, I thought it was Anton, and I didn't remember. So I don't know. But yeah, it was. And that's what I like to hear. Let's go. And man, was look, I thought that that's where my excitement, you talk about the bend don't break against some of these quarterbacks, and people, you'll get picked up. You won't get picked apart by better quarterbacks if you do what you're supposed to. If you tackle, like if you're allowing these short, like little throws, the intermediate throws, because it's bend don't break, you have to tackle. If you allow these yards after the catch, then you're going to have issues. So we got to, and they're going to, if you have Vic Fangio coming here, you have to put an emphasis on linebacker and safety. You have to in this style defense. I mean, they have to be versatile. They have to be intelligent because you got a lot going on here. And I like Reed Blankenship. I like Kevin Byard. But, man, you really need athletic guys. And you got Sidney Brown here. I think he could take a starting job. He could really still be used as that third safety, that big nickel a lot of the times. We talk about, that dime backer. A lot of things that you could still do. But there's a draft coming up. There is free agency, and there are a plenty of great players out there. So I know people are going to be negative. I don't care, man. I get it. I hate how it ended, but I'm not living in that, man. I refuse to because I'm too furious about it. And I had to deal with it for way too much, way too long. And I'm on to greener pastures, baby. So let's go Birds. But it's time to get back and get this D clicking and get the offense clicking, because I'm telling you, man, this team, we've got such great pieces. I've already shown you, but I'm going to do it again throughout this offseason by breaking down the young pieces we have, by breaking down the cap space, the draft picks, all the stuff that we do have. When everybody wants to talk about what we don't, or this, that, yeah. Well, I'm not watching. Good for you, bro. We'll see you when we're winning. Birds all day, every day, baby. And I'm glad we're figuring that out. I feel like Will Ferrell, like when he's at the funeral, leaving in Old School. She's like, "Oh, Frank, what did you do for?" And he's like, "Oh, what's going on?" She's like, "Oh, did you forget your birthday again?" And he's like, "Ah, damn it!" It's like, Frank, like that's me half the time, bro. I can't remember anything that's going on. So, as long as we're figuring it out, there, we're gonna be partying hard. That's what I like to hear. And I knew what you were saying. Don't worry about it. And that's what we talked about, getting a vet, and it looks like it's going to be him. So all about it. People forget the defense and Jake Elliott's leg kept this flow. Yeah, and that's what's funny. We talked about it. Remember at the beginning of the season, it's like Jalen Hurts doesn't pass. Then he starts passing. Well, he doesn't run. Then he starts running. And then it was always a weekly thing. Covey's got to go. And then Covey starts, breaking big ones. Well, actually, and it's just every week. Brian Johnson sucks. Then it was like, well, actually, it's Sirianni. It's always something, and it's moving the goalposts, and I just don't have time for it. But it's funny to me. It's always funny to me. Yo, John, my man, appreciate you tuning in. Hope all is well. I don't like to hear about the surgeries, but hopefully getting things fixed for yourself, feeling a little better. That I would like to hear. But one more to go. Okay, well, let's go kick that surgery's ass. Hope you are doing well, my man. And look, I appreciate you tuning in whenever it is. We all have busy lives. I get it, man, but hope you are well. Nice to hear from you. And I'll be praying for you, throwing good vibes, whatever you believe in, whatever you're feeling or needing, I'm sending it your way, my brother. It's good to see you in here. Hope the family is well. Reach out, man. Would love to hear from you. We're not going to a mistake. Dean's going. No, it was good to draft a linebacker. We definitely need that. And we want to do that again this year. So, yeah, we want linebackers. But Nakobe Dean, he did get hurt in his first year as starter, but never missed a game in college or the rookie year. That was literally just last year. But you'll hear the media. It sounds like you're really getting caught up with some of these media or content creators that like to get everyone lost. I would stop doing that, man. Unfortunate to see. Just want the best coach for the job. Same. In particular, an experienced DC. Same. I don't understand people talking about age with this. Yeah, you'd think, experience would be a good thing, but everybody wants the hot commodity. I want this name. Although they don't understand if someone's trying to add a new defense, oh boy. Well, new terminology, new everything. And not that there won't be new terminology and things that, but everyone's got their own style. But I'm just saying, imagine a new young guy coming in here trying to figure out the NFL. Oh, I want this college kid. His first time in the NFL. Oh, Lord. You know how that goes a lot of times, right? So Eagles fans, first quarter, we're down by, 3 points. It's fire this guy. They'd be calling for Minner's head, Schumann, Leonard, any of them, dude, they would be calling for their head. So it just doesn't make sense, to me, because at least you have somebody that has been through it. And that is what I think people just always want to, whine about stuff. And hey, let them do it, man. But hey, Tiffany, better late than never. Appreciate you tuning in. All you sickos tuning in here. That's what I'm talking about. And let me talk about Jared Johnson here for a sec before we keep going. I'll get right back to these. But let me talk about Jared Johnson. I made a video earlier, didn't post it, and I don't feel like uploading it, doing all that stuff when I wanted to talk about some other things with you anyway. So we're here, we're talking about it, but Jared Johnson, this is somebody that we talked about yesterday during the offensive coordinator video, somebody that, familiar with Sirianni there with the Colts in 1920. Obviously, Sirianni left in 21 to go to the Eagles, but had some time with the Vikings, and then you see what he has done with CJ Stroud there. And, he and Slowick there have been great for the Texans. So a bright mind. I'm sure Sirianni knows way more than us, but he was in my top 10. We talked about 32 offensive coordinator candidates. Let's go check that bad boy out. But I put him in my top 10. I like the kid, innovative mind that I think given the chance, be nice to see what he does. But I don't know that they go that route when they're trying to change things up and allow someone to just take the reins. So maybe someone that's done it before, but really like the kid. And I'm going to be intrigued to see how many, people they actually interview. I don't think, with DC, they got their guy. So it was like, oh, all right. But I think they'll be thorough here with the offense. And we'll be talking about a lot of guys for a while here. But also wanted to talk about the media for a second here. Show you Britton Covey went after Jacob Sports. I apparently lost the picture of them. But they were just saying that Britton Covey was talking trash about Hurts and saying he was, unapproachable and, a scary guy and all this stuff. And dude, Covey goes in on them here. And hold on one second. You guys can read that. I would read it to you. I think you guys can handle it, right? But need to check something real fast on my phone. But you see here that Covey is not having it. And I was going off earlier today talking about this because I am tired of it. And people always come to me, mad at me like, oh, well, the damn, this guy said this and that. Like, I don't follow the media people. I don't care what they have to say. I don't care what kind of narrative they are trying to spin. They're always making something up, getting everybody pissed off about something. And I really I try to do my own thing, enjoy what's going on. And, I get it. People really, love what the media puts out there, I guess. But for me, it's not for me. So I love that he sat here, stood up for Hurts, and goes in on him about how great of a leader he is. And he really is, man. I mean, we all have seen what this dude is capable of doing. And I mean, just leading this team in times where things look really tough. And I think that it's just so ridiculous. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. So I just think it's ridiculous, all the trash they've been trying to talk about him. And, I also body bagged and I guess lost that picture too, son of a bitch. But I showed you Hurts money. It's like, $84 million in dead money. And this guy's out here telling people that you would only cost $18 million for you to trade, dude. Like, what, dude? Like, that's not even close, bro. Like, you're $66,000 away, or million. I'm sorry, $66 million away. That's a little bit of a chunk of change. We're not trading him, first and foremost. I see a lot of content creators making videos of how Hurts is unapproachable. We're getting rid of him, all this. Oh, you got to be shitting me, man. I think old Richie here, you've been listening to too much of that stuff, man, because dear Lord, we definitely have been seeing it out there. There's just pure chaos. But I'm gonna just do all I can to counteract all that stuff. But let me get back over. Where was I here? Some of these fans find something to complain about. Oh, that's a fact. A fact. A fact. A fact. I think I was actually right here. The older you get, the wiser you get. I like to believe that, right? I think, right? I hope. We'll see, but hopeful. With an ACL injury is out until October. Has never been recovered from this ACL. That's unfortunate for Sidney Jones. Believe it or not, Sidney Brown is not Sidney Jones. I'm not sure if you didn't know that, but he was a rookie. Love to see the love being shared. And you got that right, Tiffany. We're back to that comment. Sorry. He's young, I believe, Matt's back. Plus, you're really good for you. Yeah, we'll be fine. People are just always going to cry about stuff. You got to understand that. They're just down in life, whatever. They want to try to bring it to us. I'm good on that. Well, the Eagles were T. Martin. Yeah, we talked about him last night. He was part of my top 10. Go check that bad boy out. But praying for you indeed, John. Hope all is well, man. Love to see that. And we're definitely all here for you, my man. Make sure to keep tuning in and cannot wait to hear that you are doing well and love to see that love being shared. You got hurt 2 times this season. That's crazy, right? Never seen that in football before, right? Oh, wild. Wow. He's had a huge injury history. 1 year out of the 10 years he's been playing. I love to see the media get people twisted with that stuff. It's always bad, man. It is. And you got people just down, and it's like, hey, man, I'm here to escape and have a good time. If you hate the Eagles, this is probably not the place for you. I get it. People just hate the Eagles, and they want to tell me for some reason. I don't care. But love to see that, man. While the season is going on. Who are you talking about? Who's allowed to interview while the season? I'm not sure what's going on there, but love that. Yo, what is going on, Mark, my man? You know it, brother. And I'm gonna be making that video, breaking everything down. I told you guys I am pumped up here. You know how excited I am. I don't care about the people that don't know anything about football. They're going to be down about this. That's why they doubted Hurts. They don't know what's going on. They're going to once his team's whooping ass again. And I don't think they did, but Covey took them to the woodshed. It was awesome. And I'll be real with you. That would be something I would be very, very interested in watching. Hell, I'll guest referee that bad boy and watch Covey whoop his ass. Now, to be fair, I grew up watching Barrett Brooks. I am a fan. I do like a lot of those people that work at Jock. I just don't understand why they work there, because those people steal my work. Literally steal. I'm not just like saying I've caught them and been like, yo, dude, you want to like pay me for this? And then they just delete it. And it's like, dude, I have screenshots, everything. Like, that's messed up, bro. But to see them out here just lying on a man's name, unreal, dude. So I'd love to see that. I would be all aboard that. And a few hours ago, and they're Barrett Brooks. Oh, I bet they didn't say a damn thing. I bet they didn't. So that's why Covey needs to lay out the challenge right here. We'll do it for charity, but let's go out here and watch him whoop some ass here. I'd actually like to see him do it to Cilio, because I can't stand him. Here, AJ Brown's rep is you are definitely listening to the wrong people, man. I'm sorry, but AJ Brown's still here. He's actually very happy. I know a lot of fans hate him. They're really down. They want to trade him and Hurts. Don't listen to those people, bro. That is really sad to see, because the Eagles are going to be back here whooping ass. I'm very excited, Dank, my man. And they're going to try to do their thing to go after this team. They hate the Eagles, and they hate us diehards. And I get it, man. That's why they are miserable. But look, man, I'm excited. So you guys just keep tuning in here. Don't worry. We'll just shut it all out. Richie, you're safe here. If you want to hear what's actually going on, brother, we've been talking about how funny it is that the media is trying to make stuff up like that. So it's hilarious. But Cliff Kingsbury, man, we talked about that. Look, air raid offense, right? Yeah, but I don't know if people really understand what that means. That's shotgun, RPO, a lot of the screen passes, no motion. Like, that's literally what people couldn't stand, myself included. A lot of things I wanted to see more of. Now, it's about spreading the ball out to all 5 of your skilled players, right? Using all 5 they like to, consider in the air raid offense. You got 5 linemen, a quarterback, and the rest of the people you should be using, right? Look, I'm about, using all of our weapons, but I think there's better ways, more innovative ways to go about it on offense. And look, I'm not saying Cliff Kingsbury hasn't been able to learn things, grow, develop, and he's worked with Johnny Manziel, Patrick Mahomes, and obviously, put Kyler Murray there. But we talk about, someone I saw on social media said like, oh, well, he never won with them. And it's like, yeah, but these guys, they learn things. You never know what they could do in the right situation. So I'm not against it, man, but he wasn't in my top 10. So, but I told you guys then he was one of the people that was almost in. I told you I had like 15 guys that I was sitting there. I was like, I really could, at this bottom portion, put one of these guys in my top 10. And it's just, I want them to just make whatever the right choice is. And we talked about that last night, whether that be a young, innovative coach or a veteran that knows what they're doing and can take over. I think maybe more of a takeover from a more veteran like coach that's been a head coach. So maybe that's, Cliff Kingsbury, maybe Frank Reich, maybe Eric Bieniemy. That was one of the choices. And I'm not, with Bieniemy, it's hard to tell because it's like, he had the Commanders there. He did have, Terry McLaurin and Dotson and Samuel there, but Sam Howell's your quarterback. But I think when you look at what the Chiefs were without him, the struggles they had, I think, I look, obviously missing some pieces there, but they still have Travis Kelce. They've got Rashee Rice, Pacheco. Like they've got a really good team. Andy Reid's your coach. So I just really think that, a lot of good stuff out there, but media manipulation. Oh man, I hate to see it though, bro. I hate to see it. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there reading your thing, but media manipulation is terrible to see, and I try to do my best to counteract all that crap they put out there. But it's nuts, and it's nuts to see how much people support it every year. And like those people always lie to them, never get anything right, but they just keep going back. And it's like, wouldn't you want to go somewhere where you knew you could get the truth? That's just me. Weird. Pope came in to be coordinator or a player, they would have a problem. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter who it is. People are going to be pissed. They're going to hate everybody every year. And that's what sucks because I'm just literally trying to enjoy my Eagles all the time. And it's some people just literally want to whine about it. That's like their scapegoat to just life. They want to hate something and they choose the Eagles. And it's all year. You got to hear about trading and firing everyone. Everybody sucks. Every week we're going to lose. Every week everybody sucks. And then you get in the off season. And those people get fired, and we better fire everyone else. And then the players are great. And it's just like, holy shit. When do you stop? Like, grow a pair and just because woo. And that's it. They love the drama, and I can't stand it. I think you guys can tell it drives me insane. Problem with the Pope is good. Yeah, I might be. I'm not sure what his game plan would be, but I'd need to hear about it first before we'll do a breakdown on his ass. But I don't want to have to do a beat down on it. So, don't understand. I don't get it. This new age. I grew up, man, and we were the toughest fans. Like that's what we were known as. Hard as nails, blue collar. Like we don't turn on our team. We're not like Cowboys fans. We're not fair weather. We're not closet fans, flip flopping. We don't whine like little bitches. Never were like that ever. I've never known Eagles fans to be like that. Then I almost die, and I swear to God, sometimes I feel like I did, and I'm in hell because it's like I started an Eagles channel from my deathbed with the help of my beautiful woman, Chelsea. And I thought, oh, yes, I'm going to start something and it's going to be beautiful. And well, in that first year, we watched Carson Wentz get hurt. I, talk about how Nick Foles can still take us to the Super Bowl. And boy, start getting death threats. People telling me how much I don't know about football and all this. And well, we win the Super Bowl. And I say, oh, how about that? So I decided let's keep building on it. So obviously, it took some years to finally get to YouTube, but just doing live Facebook shit, talking about football. But it's like we started somewhere. This is for me, my escape. I love the Philadelphia Eagles, and I've seen the amount of hate, but it was so crazy to me. I started something, thought it was going to be like, yeah, but it's taken a while to find you sickos. And hey, at least I'm finding you now, but holy Lord, that was not how I imagined. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm going to find the real diehards out here. And most of the time, it's just these little wankers. And the funniest ones are on social media who always are talking trash on Twitter or something. And then you always see like a week later or a year later or just a month. It doesn't matter when. They're always repeating what I say, or I can't stand these fans. And it's like, dog, you were one of them. Like, what? And it's so funny to see those people. It's like, yeah, you don't like me because I'm the truth. I stand up to it. And they hate it. Don't talk about my favorite media person. Like, I'm sorry, dog. If they were telling you the truth, I wouldn't have to. You've seen me. I brought in like all the Eagles media reporters, and I'm not a dick. Like I actually try to build, relationships with these people and, hope that it helps. But it's like sometimes they come on and they don't even know what they're talking about. And it's like, what do I do here? And I've got to carry them and help them. And it's like, Dog, aren't you getting paid a lot of money to sit there and talk about? Okay. I see Stephen A. Smith's demanding $20 million. Stephen A. Smith, guy that doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about, $20 million a year. That's where we're living. I don't even. Okay. Well, if only we're about knowing about sports, we'd get somewhere. But let him hate. We'll continue to educate. Isn't at Jacob anymore. He's at NBC Philly, but they had a lot of connections. Well, I'm pretty sure that was a Jacob video that I posted earlier today, the clip. But yeah, they definitely are still in cahoots there. But I know he works for NBC too. But I think he was probably just a guest or something. But it was Jacob that posted it. So they're the ones getting the blunt of it. But yo, Ali, my man, appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're doing well here. And remember the mainstream media was a reputable source? Yeah, that has not been since I started this. I told you guys. You guys know my origin story, right? On my deathbed, reading shit from ESP and these people that literally have never picked up a football in their lives. And I'm just thinking, take me now, Lord, take me now. I couldn't. It was unbearable, dude. It really was. And thank God for Chelsea, because she was like, well, why don't you just create your own? And you guys know I started out, I was writing, I was doing all kinds of stuff for different places. And it's like, I literally, it saved me. So it was just like, man, I thought, you know what, if they're not going to do it, I'm going to do it. And I made some pretty awesome connections through the time, but people can't stand me because I tell the truth. And it's so funny to me. Like, you don't like me because I'm a diehard Eagles fan that tells you what's going to happen. I predict what's going to happen, have a real source. You prefer the people that lie to you and don't ever get anything right. Like, that to me is too funny. Too funny. Don't put in the time. They don't care about research. They want someone to agree with them. So they search for people that are going to agree and argue with the people that don't. How dare you? I read from this article from this dumbass. Oh, well, Shitbird McGee told me. And it's like, wow, cool, dude. Let me compare what they've ever gotten right and what I have. And let me just talk about the last year. And then we'll compare and we'll talk about the draft and all that stuff and see how much they really have a grasp of what's going on here. And, well, I got the time to body bag them. So if they don't have the time to do the work they're supposed to, I do. But it does piss me off, and it is disgusting. It's going to be Frank Reich. Yeah, we talked about him, man. Could be a guy like that. It could be someone like him, but it could be the enemy. It could be a lot of those choices we talked about. So we'll see. Yeah, I really can't say. I got enough drama in my life. I got enough going on. And yes, that is one of the names we were just mentioning there. Talked about him last night as well. The top 10, he was in it. So fire him. Cut him! I hate him! You know what would be coming. He's out there. He's out there. When six record change a lot of $1 million athlete. Yeah, a lot of people jump ship a lot of times. A lot of people don't understand things as a whole. They live in a vacuum, right? They just listen to what the media tells them every week. Fire everyone, cut it. So I'm with you. A lot of people have no clue what's going on, man. And you see it all the time. I mean, I run this channel. People think like I don't see everything. Like, I see it and then some. And people try to flip-flop like on a daily basis. And I'm like, dog, I know what you just said to me yesterday. Like, you think I know there's thousands of you, and I try my best to keep up with all the comments and everything and talk to all of you. But I don't forget stuff. Like, I'm right here, man. I see the chaos, and I'll welcome you back when you come back. But you say you're probably retired because he's too old. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see what happens there. You guys can check that offensive video out there. You know it, man. They would be coming for him. And he sure is. And that's what people love, man. That is what they love. And I just can't really get behind it, man. I try to at least entertain you, but I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know why people enjoy doing that to you, but it's weird. The players quit, not saying they didn't, but why say it if you can't prove? Well, that's the thing, man. They just want to talk about people negatively. They want to be negative, and that's the thing. And it's like, bro, a lot of things happen. This is the NFL. Like, other teams are good. They pile on you. You think you can get away with just, my way or the highway. You're going to get your ass kicked, and we saw that. So it is what it is. You got to learn from it and grow. Continuity is a good thing, man. Sport Player Podcast, news, and channels like these. That's what's up, my man. I appreciate that. Look, they're human beings, so got to support them, man. Take me now. Well, yeah, indeed. And it's Chelsea with an A, but indeed, thank you for her, because I was losing it. I'm dead ass serious. I was in there for a month where they would just come in, and every morning didn't know if I was going to live or die. And we took some tests today. We're going to try this. I was a guinea pig, man. They had no idea what to do to me. And you guys have heard the stories, and they couldn't put me under. So I'm getting drills in my back, the tube, and dog, we don't. But I was wide awake. I'm I'm built for this, baby. So as I came through the flames, we started on the road to victory because that's where I was, man. So I can't thank you guys enough. And I'm grateful for her, for Dom, even her crazy little ass, and each and every one of you guys because you helped me with this stupid ass disease. This is a nice escape for me, talking my birds, and I will work for the Eagles one day. So we're just going to ride together, man. And say Cunningham did well being signed later. Yeah, I liked Zach Cunningham. I wouldn't bring him back. I would get younger at the position, but if you need a veteran, wouldn't be against he or Morrow. They both did decent. Not so well in that last playoff game, but he was all right. Pissed me off so bad. How do you know what happened? Yeah, man. People they read an article and they're experts. It's crazy. Oh, I'm with you. I need that too. I would really thoroughly enjoy that, and I've been really trying to figure out my way. I'm really hopeful for this upcoming sicko season. I can provide you guys with some awesome content. I'm really trying to make things happen. So I'm not even going to talk about anything, man, because every time I do, I get shit. Nope. We're just going to make it happen. Then you're going to see it happen, and we're going to ride together all the way to the top. Let's go. Yeah, man. And I've applied for those, and a lot of the things that I've applied for, they're like, oh, well, you haven't been in college for 10 years. And it's like, well, dog, like, I kind of had, something happen in life there for a chunk of change. And like, I was, like I've done so many things where it's like, bro, and then starting this on my own and teaching myself like 40 different things to be my own like producer, writer, graphic designer, all that stuff that I taught myself. It's like that's just you hope kind of just open the door, and like the knowledge part of it. It's like, is there anyone else on your staff that like anyone that's predicting? Is there people out there doing this? Like, move over, Dave Spadero. Like, save me a seat. That's all. I'm not telling you got to go. Just here I come. Like, and I would like to do stuff like that, but I'd also like to be in the front office helping with stuff like that because I don't want to waste what I feel I could bring to the table for the Philadelphia Eagles. Because I'm looking at things sometimes and it's like, dog, if you would have just, and then I don't want to sit here and toot, but let's go, baby. I'm all about it. See, Jalen is an excellent leader, bonehead fan. They're lying. Yeah, exactly. They get caught up way too easily. UFL, I'm rooting for Memphis Showboats. I don't ever have a team with those. John D. Filippo. Oh, let's go. But no, I don't have teams when I watch that, but I'm always a fan of football, so I'll always catch it when I can. And look, dude, I've watched XFL, CFL, all of them, dude. Arena League. I enjoy. You guys remember when I got invited by Jaws, Ron Jaworski, to go to one of the final games? Dude, we go to the boardwalk. Dude, that was such a crazy story. It was like storming that day. We get there. I'm like, oh, dude, sorry, I'm late. And Jaws. And I was supposed to go to another one with him. I had to cancel. And then obviously the team, everything got shut down. Like, that was crazy. But need to get Jaws on here and continue with that relationship. But he's a cool dude. And I've always enjoyed any kind of football, man. Anything. So all about it. Memphis, Reed Sinet. Oh, I remember how much hate I got when I said he wasn't going to make the team. How dare you? He is a legend. Best of luck to him in the UFL. Yes, I'm glad that I found your Tiffany. More than glad all of you found. So, and his ass is. I wish you would have gave me a little bit of a heads up today. Really pissed off. I made all of that stuff for the defensive guys. Like, literally put all their resumes together, the graphics. I had 3 players left to go, and it was everything. Everything was set up right there, man. And I told you I was gonna give you the Howie Nick presser. We're gonna talk about that. Then we were gonna do defense tonight, and then these they just love doing me like that. But some people won't even open their minds. Oh, trust me, in this world, it's tough being a free spirit, man. Hey, I don't mind it. I've always been different. I've always spoken my thoughts. I will not ever be quiet. That's far from what I am, and I like it. I actually enjoy sticking up for what's right, and I'm always going to be a seeker of truth. That is something I've always been about, and that's everything in life. And I kind of just thought I'd start a football channel because that's, something I needed to escape, my Eagles. And I need the truth there too. I needed that. And there was nobody doing it, man. So now we're doing it. But ladies and gentlemen, I am going to roll out here. Got some things to do, and this is like the millionth video today. So I hope you go enjoy the rest of those other ones. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like button. You can always subscribe down below. We'll be back tomorrow. I had things mapped out differently, but with this change, we'll see. Maybe, if it becomes official with Fangio, we'll talk about that, some other things. But yeah, just tune in. You'll see when I'll make a little post, let you know what's going on, when I'm coming for you. But you know what's coming after tomorrow, and that's, of course, Fan Friday. So taking all your questions. We'll be recapping the week, everything. So at least try out their cap training program. Oh, dude, seriously. And they're going to be losing some people. So I'm trying to shine, trying to find my way in, trying to build everything I need to. So we're going to keep on building. All right. But you guys, appreciate you tuning in, each and every one of you. Love you guys. And cannot thank you enough again for tuning in. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith. And this is On the Road to Victory. You all have a great night. Stay safe out there. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!